Children of the Cold Moon is a 2024 novel by The Longwinded One. There is a podcast of the same name hosted by The Longwinded One that I've listened to for many years over many seasons. That's a nice fellow, and so I was given a copy in exchange for a review. Um, and here I am. This actually just released recently. But I'll preface it thus. To be honest, I haven't read a lit RPG in years. It's not exactly my genre, with the crunchy magic really not being my jam. That's like the big thing. This is a bit more mythic, with its roots in a familiar Irish trappings, or at least familiar to me, and there are elements of leveling up and abilities unlocking. That kind of disenchants fantasy for me, even though the Irish myth stuff is enchanting. But anyways, when I read a novel for a game, and I've read lots, right? I want to see places and lore, but not game mechanics in the fiction. And there's even a part early on that's self-referential to the genre of lit RPG specifically, and some modern fantasy more generally, very Sandersonian. And again, the not as fun, but the exposition is disenchanting, right? And I mean, it's fun, but again, it just doesn't, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. And now that's the genre again. So fans of the genre will probably enjoy these. And I think they work fine. Like I said, it's just not exactly what I look for. And that being said, though, because I don't want it to sound like that I just started off insanely negatively, I actually enjoyed this book, okay? I just wanted to preface with kind of my holdups on the genre itself of lit RPG. This one is told in first person, begins in 2014. Bren is 22 years old, but can't remember anything from his first 18 years. He's in Ireland, and his caretaker, Cathan, is bringing Bren to a Stone Age site and is speaking of Celtic gods and the healing magic of the winter solstice. This is the day that the story starts again. It really gets right into the story, of course, starting off with the skeptical and confused main character, and quickly becoming enchanted in this magical world, I guess you could say. There is a sense of age, of other worlds, of the stone, of destiny, of hags and fairies very early on, and it only goes from there. It does feel like a Portal fantasy from today. I guess the cool kids term is isekai, but I don't see the point of that term anyways. With references like Mario Kart and the Jaws movies, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, other lighthearted fun. Some of the Lord of the Rings references are actually really well done. I appreciate them. And there was also a tavern scene with a song and drink that works really well, right? And it's nice to see song in a fantasy book. It's not always there, but you'll find it sometimes. There's also lots of cursing and overall sense of humor that reminds me some of something like White Plume Mountain by Paul Kidd, but this works better than White Plume Mountain. Okay, this is a good, this is entertaining. It doesn't kind of wear on you. It's kind of what I'd expect, from something like a lit RPG, while White Plume Mountain is, the type of thing I'd expect a bit more serious thing. Anyways, the pacing is also really great. It's very swift. There's very short chapters. There's an interesting take on changelings in the Tua and the Fomorians in an Irish world that, again, works like an RPG. It's epic and mythic and snarky and funny. Overall, it's an enjoyable read. And if asked to check out a sequel, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm not a huge fan of the genre, but I enjoyed this well enough, right? And I'm not going to become a huge fan of the genre, but this is well done. I think doesn't feel insanely video gamey. The parts that do, like the leveling up stuff, I think is a little silly, but again, that's just the genre for you. So anyways, if you are a fan of lit RPG, I think this one's worth checking out. So anyways, Liam from Loose Lions here. I'll catch you next time.